Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Hi, Stepan. How are you? If you can hear me, please, I would like to know, put a message in the chat, put a comment in the chat and say hello, say hi, and you can tell me wherever you're joining from this morning. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? Okay. Thank you for joining me. Apologies, some few minutes to kick in. Having some technical problems with Instagram, but I think we'll figure that out later. So I'd like to dive into the conversation because I've got a lot to share today and I want to just get as much as possible out. Okay. Um, okay, cool. Hi. I can see comments coming through in the chat. Okay, fantastic. All right. I think this is good. Okay, so I'll just dive in. And please, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I will talk about your questions. I will address your questions towards the end of my talk, or I can stop in between to ask questions and see that you guys are still with me. If you can do me a favor, please write in the chat where you're joining from, because I go through the chat later on to know where people have dialed in from. When I say where, your location, your country, or wherever you are in the world. Please put it in the chat. And finally, my ask today is also please go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can see the ticker at the bottom, the yellow thing going. Subscribe so that you can always get notified when we bring new content, new material, and resources to help you grow. But straight, let's dive in into today's conversation. Today, I want to talk about how to build a job-ready portfolio in 14 days. How to build a job-ready portfolio in 14 days. You will know why in a minute. That is important. I'll start from there. But also, if you have been at the beginning, this is a second live series I've started. If you've joined the last or the previous live series, you would understand some context or some of the things I will be talking about at the beginning of today's conversation. But let's dive in and then let's just kind of flow together. If okay, so starting from here, what I want to achieve today is, for example, if you have been in this situation, put a chat in the comment. Raise your hand if this sounds very familiar to you. You've got certification, you've written exams, you've finished courses, you've updated your LinkedIn, you've applied to hundreds or tens of some people thousands of jobs, yeah, but nothing. Or worse, you got rejection email that says something like, "We have decided to move forward with other candidates." Sounds familiar? If that sounds familiar, please put a comment in the chat, because what I'm going to do today, what I intend to achieve today, is to tell you exactly why that is happening and how to stop it for good. I want to tell you exactly why that's happening and how to stop it. The first point I want to make to you today is to make you understand and believe this, that you don't have a job problem. Many people think the problem we have is the fact that there's scarcity of jobs, so therefore that's why I'm not getting a job, or that's why I'm not getting hired. You do not have a job problem. That's the first thing I want to establish for you today. You have a proof problem, and just follow me. You will see how everything connects together. And now, this is how it goes. Let's be honest, where you are right now, potentially, most people are in this position. There's frustration, basically because you have invested real time, some money or a lot of money to learn skills. You've gone to uni. Some people are in student debt. You've spent a lot of money on bootcamp training, certifications. You paid for exams, but your inbox in terms of offers is still empty. The second level is you're not confused because every job says you need to have 2 or 3 years, or now commonly 5 years work experience is required. But how do you get the experience without a job? You need a job to get the experience in order to get a job that you want. The experience paradox. we call it. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then third thing is the self-doubt creeps in, right? At this point, you start wondering if maybe you are not just cut out for this, if the gap is just too big to close. But the truth is this: the gap is not your skills, the gap is your evidence. The gap is not your skills, it is your evidence that is the gap. Now, this is what I intend to do today. And if you're here, just stick with me to the end of this. And this is what you're going to get to. The number one, we're going to expose the real reason why you're not getting hired, because it is not what you think. It is not. Number two, I'm going to show you how recruiters think, how they actually think, the uncomfortable truth about how decisions are made for who gets the job. Number three, I'm going to give you a 14-day clear system, which is a 14-day step-by-step portfolio building framework that you can start as soon as possible, if possible today. And lastly, I'm going to introduce to you what I call, or what we call, the portfolio simulations, which basically is built to solve or for this exact problem that we're discussing today. So follow me. First thing, before we talk about solutions, let's talk about the problem most people refuse to face. The hiring game has changed, and a lot of job seekers are still, playing the card or playing by the old rules, right? The game has changed, and that's the brutal truth. Most people refuse to face this truth because they have been told, or they have been made to believe certain things. But the truth is that the game has changed. If you're not aware, welcome to the new game. Welcome to the new world. And this is the starting point. Number one is what I've called the certification trap. The certification trap. You were told to get certified. If you get certified, then you get a job. You've been told to take a course. If you take a course, then you can prove your skills. Then you've been told to add it to your CV. When you add those courses and those certifications to your CV, you will stand out. And of course, you expect that after having those trainings and certifications to your CV, when you apply for jobs, automatically that should lead to interviews and, of course, a job, right? But what happens in reality is, number one, certifications are now table stakes. They are not differentiators. Everybody has them. Courses only prove that you watch a number of videos, right? And you've crammed some theory, okay? That's what the course will prove to you. Excuse me. CVs are claims. They are not evidence. They are claims of of your potential, of your capability, what you claim you are able to do or you've done before. That's what CVs are. They're not evidence of what you actually can do. And then lastly, applications get filtered before humans even see them, right? So you don't think that when you send your CV, it lands on the desk of somebody first. No, that is not true. So the certification economy is broken because everyone has certificates now. What nobody has is proof that they can do the job. And that is the game. That is what you need to master. What is not common is evidence of capability. Here's what recruiters are drowning in. An average recruiter for every job role receives 250 plus applications for every role that they advertise. Average number of applicants that a corporate job posting receives within the first week, as a matter of fact. And then CVs are scanned within 7 seconds. So that's the average time a recruiter spends on a CV, on your resume, before deciding whether they want to give it attention or they want to just pass it on. And then the last point, which is about recruiters, is 75% of CVs are filtered by ATS systems before it even gets to the desk of a human being, right? So that your CV, before somebody looks at it, goes through a system. And that system will first of all filter out, based on certain criteria, whether the recruiter will even see them or not, right? 75% of the time. So this is what happens. Certifications open the door for you. But what you need is proof, because proof or evidence gets you the job. The market is flooded with qualified candidates. What is rare is someone who can show their work, and you need to be that person. I want you to be that person. Now, this is why courses are not enough anymore. Number one, courses teach concepts. They tell you what things are, not how to apply them to business problems or to enterprise challenges. This is what employers actually need, because that's what they face every day. Certification signal completion. You've basically finished the course. You only prove that you turned up, you crammed the memory, or you mastered the concept. It doesn't tell a recruiter nothing about your judgment, your initiative, or your output quality. Your courses, the courses that you take don't do that. And lastly, many courses now have, like, what do you call them? Templates and stuff to basically give you additional resources, because the course providers also know that the courses are not enough. So they add more stuff to kind of give you that for come get, additional mentorship or get this there, or not. They kind of, pack it up to make it a bit more, convincing. But the truth is, projects are missing in the courses. Without real deliverables, case studies, analysis, systems, there is nothing to evaluate, right? So you're asking employers to take a leap of faith on you by completing a course because you've taken a certification. And that's not how it works, really, in reality. Now, and this is where I was talking about earlier. The experience paradox is a lie that you have been sold. We'd love to hire you, but you just don't have the experience you're looking for. Anybody, that sounds familiar? Unfortunately, right? And this is a dirty secret that most entry-level and career professionals who are changing careers, or you're moving from one career to another, or you're trying to get a promotion, you don't require years of industry employment. What they need is demonstrated capability, the confidence that you can handle real problems from day one. And that confidence does not come from time that you've served taking a course. It comes from evidence of what you have produced or what you have built. And that is the thing that you need to focus on. The experience product is real, but you can solve it. You don't need a job to get experience. You need a portfolio that proves that you have done the work. That's it. Once you have the portfolio, you stand out. You're different from everybody else, firing CVs and taking courses. Okay, I'll take a pause. Anybody still here? Let me check the comment section. How many jobs have you, if you're still here with me, put in the chat, how many jobs have you applied to in the last 6 months? How many jobs have you applied to in the last 6 months? Be honest. Don't worry, I'm not going to put your stuff on the live. So put it in the chat. Let me know, how many jobs have you applied for in the last 6 months? 5 jobs, 20 jobs, 50 jobs, 50 plus. Let me know. I want to see. I want to be sure that you guys are following me, and this is landing. Okay, I can see somebody says, I'm grinding hard, 21 to 50. Okay, grinding hard. That's good. That's good. Anybody else in the room? How many have you applied for? Yeah, 50 plus. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm talking to the right audience. I'm just checking I'm talking to the right audience. Now, listen to this. The hiring reality is the fact that we need to understand how hiring decisions are made. And this is the first step to position yourself to win. How do they make decisions? How are recruiters thinking? How do hiring managers think? And this is how they think. This is the question they ask themselves. Can this person solve the problems we are paying to solve, starting almost immediately? That's it. That's what they want to know. Everything on your CV, every interview question, every take-home test they give you is all in the service of answering that golden question. They are not looking for potential. They don't want to hire potential. They are hiring confidence that you will deliver. So you need to shift your mindset. Stop trying to look qualified. Stop trying to look qualified. Start proving that you are capable. Right? That is the key message. One key message I want to take away from today. Stop trying to prove that you're qualified, but start proving that you are capable. Okay? You are capable. And let's look at it this way. Evidence versus claims. So when I say evidence, I'm talking of your portfolio. When I say claims, I'm talking of your resume, your CV. And this is the hiring manager's dilemma. Claims, number one, says that you are proficient in data analysis. Sounds familiar on your CV? You claim on your CV or on your resume that you are a strong problem solver. Yeah? Right? Yes or no? You claim on your CV or your resume that you are a team player. Sounds familiar? Yeah? And lastly, you claim that you are a fast learner. You actually mentioned this during the interview if you get lucky to land an interview, excuse me. But let's go to the other side and let's look at evidence. Evidence says, this is the dashboard I built for a logistics company. Evidence shows, this is a root cause analysis I have performed, resolving 30% of cost spike. Evidence shows that I led a 3-person sprint team on product redesign. Evidence says I taught myself SQL in 2 weeks and I shipped the project. Now, look at it this way, and this is the mindset I want you to have. Everything you claim is forgettable, but evidence is magnetic. When a hiring manager sees that you have evidence, they stop reading because they see real work. They stop reading and they start imagining you on their team. That is where you want to be. That is where you want to be. 2 candidates, 2 profiles. Candidate A, certified and invisible. He's got Google Data Analytics certificate. He's got 3 Coursera courses completed. He's got 2 years as an admin, unrelated to the job. CV says passionate about data. No projects, no case studies, no proof, no evidence. Candidate B, second profile, has the same Google certificate. However, he has built 3 portfolio case studies simulating real business problems. 3, he has a GitHub profile with documented projects. He has a Notion portfolio with written analysis of his thinking, his initiative, and then he has LinkedIn posts that shows the process that they go through in achieving or producing the work that they produce. Now, 2 results or 2 outcomes for these 2 people. For the first candidate, you get filtered out in round 1, straight out. However, for candidate B, what happens is the recruiter, because you have created an image in their minds, in their heads, they can already picture you on their team. The hiring manager is already thinking about you. They reach out within the 48 hours. Totally different results, 2 candidates. And this is what recruiters are looking for when they're looking at your profile. Number 1, can I see something you have built that relates to the work that we do? A project, an analysis, a case study, something that mirrors a real business scenario. They want to see, can you explain your decisions, not just what you did, but why? What's the rationale behind this? What judgment calls did you make that reveal how you think under pressure? Did you identify a real problem, frame it clearly, or deliver a solution? That is the job description, and your portfolio should prove that you have already done everything I described. And this is the other thing, and why your applications actually disappear. Just for so many people who are wondering, what happens to all my applications I make? Where did they go? Because most job seekers and professionals optimize for stage 1, right? Stage 1 is the ATS keyword scan. They forget that stage 2 and stage 3 are even more critical. A portfolio will bypass this funnel because it will create direct conversation. You show up in inboxes, not just in application queues, right? because you have evidence, you have portfolio, you have digital footprint. You are not just going to be on the queue for a job because your digital footprint will tell a story naturally. So proof, every single time a recruiter or a hiring manager choosing between two candidates or multiple candidates with identical certifications will choose the one with a portfolio because the work is already done for them. The decision is just to be made. You have removed the guesswork for them. So what would you rather bet on? If you are a recruiter or a hiring manager with a real business problem to solve and a budget that you need to protect, would you bet on somebody that says they can do it, or somebody who has already done it? They have done something remarkably similar and they can show you the work that they've done. This is the exact question that we're going to be answering for hiring managers with your portfolio. With your portfolio. And that's why I'm going to be talking next about the portfolio advantage. The portfolio is not a fancy document. It's a business case for hiring you that is built from a real proof that you can think, you can deliver, and you can communicate like a professional. That is what your portfolio is. What a job-ready portfolio actually is. It is not a collection of certificates, right? It is not a list of projects that you've worked on. No, and that's what I see in a lot of portfolios, right? Vague projects without context, without outcomes, no documented thinking. They don't move. That doesn't move the needle. And the job-ready portfolio is not a personal website with a bio. That is a digital business card. I see that a lot as well. Hiring managers and recruiters need more than your face and a tagline. This is what you need. A curated collection of simulation-based case studies where you have tackled real-world problems, documented your thinking, and delivered professional-grade outputs. That is what a job-ready portfolio actually is. Now, let's compare, just for clarity on this topic, why portfolios outperform CVs, resumes every time. And I've been shouting this for, if you follow me a lot, you know this is a big thing. This is a big deal. I've been talking about this to so many people, thousands of people that I've mentored and trained over the many years I've been doing this. All right, and I'm doing this based on a personal experience as well. Right, so this is not make up or made up. You can't make it up. CVs, number one, it shows you have credibility, but your credibility is claimed. Your differentiation is low. Everybody's got it. Nothing stands out. It is rarely a conversation starter. Let's be honest. Right? Your CV does not show your thinking. And it's forgettable. It's not memorable. And responses to CV is 3% on average by statistics. But then let's look at portfolio on the other hand. Your portfolio talk in terms of credibility is you have proven it. Your portfolio always is a conversation starter, definitely. If you have a good one, that is a good one let me be clear about that. And of course, your portfolio should show your thinking. It shows how you think, your rationale, your judgment. And it's memorable because it's sticky when people see it. And of course, in terms of responses, it is significantly higher compared to a CV. Your CV tells a recruiter what you've done, but your portfolio shows them what you are capable of right now for their team on their problems. That is what makes you different when you have one. And I'll just give some examples of disciplines and jobs where portfolio first is always a clear winner. Data and analytics. You can demonstrate SQL queries, dashboards, business reports. You can show exploratory analysis. You can turn raw data into actionable insights. Product management is also a very interesting area. You can create and build PRDs, user research summaries, competitive analysis. You can do feature prioritization, and you can even have simulatable, documentation and evidences without a product job. Cybersecurity. You can have pen test reports, vulnerability assessments, your incident response playbooks, your run books, your lab walkthroughs. documenting real capability. We can also talk about digital marketing. I think I've got it for here. Like, you can show your campaign strategy decks, your SEO audits, your social media content plans, advertisement performance analysis, everything built around real problems, real challenges day-to-day organizations and enterprises face, right? And you can mock the clients as well. So you don't have to have done it with a real company. You can mock it up, you can simulate it. And this is why this is super important now. And there are other more fields like UX, UI design, right? Finance and strategy, yeah, project management, human resources and people ops. These are all areas where you can definitely do stand out with a job-ready portfolio. The portfolio conversation starter, right? I'd love to show you something I built. It's a case study where I solved X problem for a type of company. It took me about 2 weeks, and here is what I found. That is how you start and open to a conversation. That sentence is backed by real work that you can actually spin up and pull up. It changes the entire energy of a hiring conversation, whether it's an interview, whether it's a demo, whether it's an intro call. You stop being a candidate asking for a chance. You become a professional demonstrating value out of the box, straight out. So this is where I want you to. I will just take a pause here and I will check in the comments if people are saying stuff, because I'm not looking at my comments right now. Like I said, I want to get through this as much as possible. I've got quite loads to share. If this is helping you, please put a comment in the chat. Again, I will say, please go check, follow my YouTube channel. Very important, so that you have real-time updates every time material and resources are shared. Your portfolio is your unfair advantage. While everybody's applying and praying, you are showing and proving. The market doesn't reward potential. The market rewards demonstrated capability. Your portfolio is the vehicle that delivers that before you get on the job. Okay? My message, proof over certificates. Remember that. That's the entire game. That's the game. All right, let's have a look. I'm just checking the comments. Okay, I can see some questions. That's good. That's good. I'll come to your questions in a moment. Yeah, really good questions. Keep those questions coming, guys. Really good. I'll come to that. I'll come to them in a moment. Keep your questions coming. Let's move forward. Now, be honest with yourself right now. If you're with me here or you're watching from anywhere you're watching from, just be honest with me. Do you have a portfolio? I'm not talking about a CV. I'm not talking about your LinkedIn profile. An actual collection of work products that prove that you can do this job. Do you? Everything I've said, I'm not talking about a static website with your name and a bio and some links, some description of. No, I'm saying, do you have a job-ready portfolio that stands you out? Could you share, if I ask you now in 60 seconds, if a recruiter messaged you right now and said, send me something you've built, what are you going to send? Be honest with yourself. Does it solve a real problem? This thing you call your portfolio, if you say you have one. Not a tutorial, not a course project. A simulation of a real business challenge or real business scenarios or challenges in your target industry. If any of these things I've asked you, if you hesitated in any of those, please stay with me, okay? Stay with me. Because what I'm going to share with you next is the 14-day portfolio system. Because I want to take this away from this session today. Very, very important. Okay? This is where your theory becomes action. Over the next section here, I will be walking you through a clear face-by-face system, right? To build a job-ready portfolio. Now, this is purely recommendations. You can always tweak it. 14 days is what I believe is possible, but you can do this in less or you can do it in more, depending on where you are. But basically, this will take you from zero to published in 14 days. Let's go. Overview. Day 1 to day 2, you position and you select a domain. Okay? Day 1 to 2 is positioning and domain selection. Day 3 to day 5, you are understanding real-world problems. Day 3 to day 5 is understanding real-world problems. Day 6 to day 10, you are building simulation case studies. That's what you're doing from day 6 to 10. Days 11 to 12, you are structuring your portfolio. And by day 13 to 14, you are publishing and storytelling. Okay? I will go into a bit more detail about this. Every phase in what I've just described to you, it builds on the last. So skip a phase, and then your portfolio is just, it doesn't hold water. Follow the system that I've just described. I will be describing in more detail. And in 14 days, you will have something no certification can give you or can replicate, which is a real proof of professional capability. Yeah, your differentiator, your advantage in the marketplace of today. So let's talk about day 1 to day 2 very quickly. Positioning and choosing your domain. This is what you do. You choose one target role. Don't choose 5. One target role. One target role, not 5. Identify 3 companies you want to work for in that target role, in that industry. Study the job descriptions forensically and map the skills listed to problems they're solving. And that should give you, at the end of those 2 days, your positioning statement in one sentence. Basically, it goes like this. I am a product owner who helps SaaS companies solve growth, go-to-market problems using my product managing skills or my product strategy skills. Or does that make sense? Or example, I'm a data analyst who helps e-commerce brands reduce cart abandonment using behavioral analytics and SQL dashboards. Does that make sense? That is positioning, and you've chosen a domain. The most common mistake that a lot of people make is you target too broadly. I'm good at data and marketing and project management. That's nothing. Niche is very important. Niche wins. So what your output should look like is a defined target role, a job description analysis document, and one positioning statement, right? One role, one industry, one type of company. Your entire portfolio should speak directly to this audience. No dilution. Your job description should be a document listing the top 5 to 7 repeated requirements across 10 real job postings. This becomes the skeleton of your portfolio themes. So then you have one, like what example I gave you earlier, written down, tested on someone who knows nothing about your field. If they understand it, your positioning statement then is sharp enough. Look at the examples I shared earlier. Next stage, day 3 to 5. Understanding real world problems is you research industry's new pain point, any pain points in that industry. So how do you do that? You read blogs. Excuse me. You go to Reddit threads, LinkedIn posts from people working in that space. What problems do they complain about the most? What tools break or does not meet up? What processes are manual and painful? Secondly, you can study real company challenges. Look at company case studies, annual reports, press releases, and news, blog posts. Every challenge mentioned in a portfolio is an opportunity. Number 3, you can then draft problem statements. This is your second stage, day 3 to 5. Write 3 specific realistic problems a company in your target industry is actually facing, and these will become your case study briefs. This is how you build a portfolio, guys. Okay? These are the things you don't do in this stage where you are doing understanding, defining the problems. Picking up made-up problems, right? Problems that no real company is facing. That doesn't demonstrate industry awareness. So recruiters can actually spot fantasy scenarios very, very straightforward. They'll spot it. All right? Secondly, don't go too broad. Helping companies grow revenue is not a problem statement. Be very, very specific. Reducing customer churn in SaaS companies during the first 30 days post onboarding. That's specific, right? And then don't skip this phase, okay? So don't jump into start building a portfolio without understanding the problem, the problem. And this will produce generic work, basically. It's just like a tutorial. So you don't want to be in that position. That's what I'm saying. Now, this is where you build the case studies. And this is important. This is very important, honestly. If you missed anything that I've been saying since the beginning of this conversation this morning, you don't want to miss this part. Because this is the core of your portfolio, and this is the hardest part. But this is also where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. A simulation-based case study mirrors real professional work without requiring a real employer. Mindset change. Mindset change. Right? You define a problem, you research data, you build a solution, you document process, and you present your findings. 5 steps. Think of each case study that you've captured as a job audition you control entirely. You set the brief, you do the work, you present the output. And this is what it looks like. Your setup is like this. Scenario, for example, fintech startup, 500 users, 60-day retention rate dropping, needs to understand why users are leaving or churning in the first 2 weeks. You find a public data set, you simulate the data scenario, you apply your analytical skills, and you deliver a professional report. This is real work. Your output looks like a professional framing document, data cleaning and analysis, an insight dashboard with visualizations, recommendations with business rationale that shows that this is what you're thinking, an executive report or a summary, and then a reflection, what you will do differently. This requires real thinking, and that is the entire point, and this is why it works. So this is your day 6 to 10. Again, the case study formula: context, what company, what industry, what situation, set the scene like a professional brief. Problem, what specific challenge are you solving? One problem clearly defined. What your approach, what methodology, what tools, what frameworks did you apply, and why? Your output, the actual deliverable, a dashboard, a report, a design, a model, a playbook, a runbook. What are you producing? And then, of course, finally, your rationale, your thinking, your reflection. What would you do differently? This signals professional maturity. So this is your case study formula, day 6 to 10. And these are the things I don't want you to do. Don't go do tutorial projects. I follow the YouTube tutorial to build a Netflix dashboard. That's learning. That is learning. That is not case study. Okay? No business context. So throwing technically correct analysis without any business framing. No, that's like delivering a car without wheels. That's not going anywhere. Don't hide your thinking. Your reasoning matters as much as your output. Document your decisions, your dead ends, your pivots. That is the evidence of your professional judgment, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, only building one. One case study is okay, but it's a start. 3 is a portfolio minimum. That's a start. Okay? Aim for at least 3 distinct scenarios that show range across your target role. Very important. Now we're almost done. I hope you guys are taking notes, or you're not. I hope you're not just watching. The people that transform their career trajectories after workshops like this, they are not the most talented people in the room, ladies and gentlemen. They are the ones that execute. So write down one action you will take before you go to bed tonight. Just one. Small action beats perfect planning every time. So if you're listening to me, make sure you're not just listening, you're taking notes and you're making a point. This is one thing I'm going to do based on everything that Victor is talking about today. So your last section for your portfolio, your third, second to last, day 11 to 12. This is where you structure your portfolio. You can use Notion. You can use GitHub, or you can even have a personal portfolio site. And this is where a lot of people struggle, because a lot of people wonder, like, I don't know how to use Notion. I don't have to use Notion, or I can create a personal website, but it just then looks like a boring template. GitHub, I'm not a developer. Why do I need to do that? But listen, you can choose from a range of tools, right? What you want to demonstrate is a clean, professional, shareable link, ideal for non-technical roles. For example, Notion is good for that. Okay, so product management, marketing, HR, strategy, easy to update, and you can easily customize it per application. For example, if you are doing data or engineering or cybersecurity, GitHub is a good one. You can have a GitHub page or a GitHub profile, like basic, standard. Well-documented README files are secret weapon. A lot of people miss that. And then a personal portfolio site is great. This is for maximum credibility. You can invest in that, and it gives you control as well. So you can use tools like Webflow, Card, even a LinkedIn creator page can, when you pair it together with case studies, it basically goes a long way. Okay, so these are just examples. But in terms of structuring your portfolio, right, you want to have a hook, you want to have case studies, your process snapshot, and then your contact or your call to action. Every element of your portfolio should answer one question: why should we interview this person? So remove anything that doesn't serve that question. Even if you are proud of it, remove it. So this is what I'm talking about, the 11 to 12. And this is what your recruiter ready checklist, your hiring ready checklist. Okay, go through it. Clear headline that, starting your role and stating your role and target industry. We've been through that. Case studies, minimum 3. With context, approach, output, and reflection. We've talked about that. Tools and technologies used, visible and not buried. We talked about that. Outcomes and findings stated in plain English. We talked about that. A shareable link that works on mobile. We talked about that. And now we're going to talk about professional headshot, 1-paragraph bio, LinkedIn profile, a clear way for recruiters to contact you. Okay? If you can check all these things I've just said, then you are ready to publish. So this is the next stage: publishing and storytelling. Right? Publish and storytelling. This is your day 13 and day 14. Publishing your portfolio is not the finishing line, ladies and gentlemen. It is the starting point. Your starting gun. Boom, go. The most powerful thing you can do with a portfolio is tell a story of building it. Right? What I'm doing right now is building my portfolio. It goes into my portfolio. This is part of my digital footprint. Okay? People will see this. People will see my work, and they want to talk to me when it comes to things like this. I hope this is making sense. And this is what I'm talking about. Publishing and storytelling. Share your portfolio on LinkedIn. Write a post documenting what you've done, what you learned, what problem you're solving. Be very specific and tag the companies you simulated for. Right? Tag the companies you simulated for. Email it directly to hiring managers. Don't wait for job openings. Don't wait for vacancies before you share it. Find the person. Excuse me. You can tell I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I'm talking about this personally, innit? Find the person who will hire for your target role and send a warm, specific, value-first message or email about with your portfolio linked. Okay? Add it to every application you make, in your cover letter, your resume, in email body. Make it impossible for anyone to miss your work. This is very important. And this is why storytelling is important. I'll probably do a separate session on storytelling, but this is important because it's part of this 14-day formula that I want to share with you today. And this is it. For example, I spent 14 days building a portfolio from scratch. No job, no experience, no connections. Here is what I built. And today is very easier. It's so easy to do that, much easier to do that. What broke and what I learned, and you put the link in the comments. This gets the attention of people, recruiters, hiring managers, because it is specific, it is honest, and it is action-oriented. Okay? Why storytelling multiplies impact for you? Number one, it makes your portfolio findable. SEO, algorithm with find keywords, They will feature you on FYPs, on pages, on feeds of people that should see what you've done. It's signal communication skills, which is very important, more than ever now in this age of AI. A core job requirement. It builds a public track record that compounds over time, and it attracts inbound recruiter messages. Instead of you chasing applications, the jobs will be coming after you. They'll be coming after you. These are the things I don't want you to do. After going through day 1 to day 12, do not hide your portfolio. Don't hide it. Building a great portfolio and not telling anyone about it is like cooking an incredible meal and you are eating it alone in the dark. No. Tell your story. Publish loudly. Share often. Share often. Write. Post. Live stream, like what I'm doing. Don't wait for perfection. A published imperfect portfolio, it beats a perfect unpublished one every single time. You can iterate. After you get feedback, you can make it better and better. And then don't post once and expect that that's it. No. One post, one link, then silence. No. Visibility requires consistency, ladies and gentlemen. So share your updates, your learnings, your improvements. Keep showing up is what I'm trying to say. At the end of day 14, the goal is a live portfolio link you can send to any hiring manager or recruiter under 60 seconds. That's it. Go build it. Go build it. And this is the last section of my live workshop today. I hope this has been a blessing to somebody. And let's make this concrete. So this is what the 14-day system will look like. For example, meet Amara. Amara is my situation persona. Before the portfolio, day 0, recent graduate, business degree, Google data analytics certificates, 3 months of study, applied to 40 plus data analyst roles, 2 generic rejections, 38 ghostings. On LinkedIn, aspiring data analyst, open to opportunities. Yeah, everybody does that. No portfolio, no case studies, no project. This is what it looks like. I just need more experience. Maybe I should do another course. Maybe I'm applying to the wrong roles. Maybe I'm just not ready yet. Yeah, that sounds like somebody. She didn't have a skills problem from day 0. She didn't have a motivation problem. She had a proof problem. Okay, and this is what Amara did in 14 days. Following this framework I just shared with you, ladies and gentlemen. Day 1 to 2, she chose the target, e-commerce data analyst, identified 10 job postings, found the repeating themes, right? SQL, dashboards, retention analysis. Second step, day 3 to 5. She researched cart abandonment, a top e-commerce challenge, found a public cargo data set, framed a realistic business scenario. Boom. Day 3 to 5 done. Problem identified. Day 6 to 10, built 3 case studies, cart abandonment analysis, customer segmentation, and a retention dashboard, all written with recommendations. Yeah. Case study done. Days 11 to 12, portfolio ready, structured everything in Notion, wrote a positioning headline, documented a methodology for each project. And the last step 5, day 13 to 14, she published on LinkedIn, emailed 5 hiring managers directly with a portfolio link, updated her resume to lead with the portfolio URL. This is what Amara did in 14 days, ladies and gentlemen. And after the portfolio, she has 3 recruiter responses within 10 days of publishing from direct outreach and LinkedIn visibility combined. 2 first-round interviews, both hiring managers specifically mentioned, reviewing her case studies before scheduling the interview with her. Day 28, she has a job offer. Junior data analyst at the direct-to-consumer brand. 2 weeks after completing her portfolio. Same skills, completely different results. Same skills, completely different results. What changed for Amara? Nothing about her skills changed. Same certification she had, same background, same degree. The only thing that changed was that she stopped claiming she could do the work and she started showing she already had. The hiring manager told her, this is a comment from her, listen, we've interviewed dozens of candidates, but you were the only one who showed us something real. That is why you are here. Ladies and gentlemen, proof over certificates. That is the entire story. And this leads me to the last part of the conversation today. I'm introducing to you portfolio simulations. Now you know the system. Everything I've taught you this morning, you know the system. But this is the fastest, most structured way to execute it. And this is built by my company called Career Bridge Foundation. We're a social enterprise, specifically for many people in the same position, trying to cross this hurdle. What are portfolio simulations? This is our structured program that gives you real world work scenarios, guided frameworks, artificial intelligence feedback, and a structured system built to build a job-ready portfolio from scratch, regardless of your experience level. This is not a course, not a boot camp. This is a proof-building engine that we have created for you. What you get: industry-specific simulation briefs, step-by-step guided framework per role, AI-powered feedback on your case studies, portfolio review from industry practitioners, and a structured accountability system and a community, of portfolio builders. This is super important, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why portfolio simulations beat DIY. When I say DIY, do it yourself. Everything I've been talking about all morning is basically DIY. Yeah, DIY. But here, I'm talking about portfolio simulations. And this is the difference. DIY is you are guessing a relevance, none or peers, weeks of setup, low effort, and it can be inconsistent. But with portfolio simulations that I'm bringing to you, ladies and gentlemen, you have industry validated briefs. You have AI-powered systems to back your solution, and practitioners, structured framework to help you achieve this in a very short time. And your energy is high rather. And at the end of it, you have job ready portfolio. So you could do all of this alone. Everything I've described all morning, you can do it by yourself, all alone. But why navigate the guesswork when purpose-built system already exists? One that compresses months of trial and error into a focused, structured sprint. I use 14 days, but it doesn't have to be 14 days. It could be anything for you. Does that make sense? And this is how it works. You choose your track. You select from a role-specific tracks like data, product, cyber, marketing, UX, and so on and so forth. Each track is built around real employer expectations. Okay? Then you receive your simulation briefs. You get realistic, industry-validated business scenarios with context, constraints, real tasks, deliverables that a real company would need in reality. And then you have AI to guide you. As you are doing the work in the platform, you are getting AI feedback to flag gaps, suggest improvements, and compare your output to professional benchmarks in real time. Okay? And of course, you can publish your portfolio directly from there. So you finish with a polished, shareable portfolio reviewed by practitioners, ready to go. You can tell a story with that straight away, out of the box. And this is built for you if you are a recent graduate, maybe you have a degree in hand, you are applying application after application and going nowhere. You need proof, not more credentials. Yeah. You are certified but stuck. You have invested a lot in learning. Now it's time to invest in proving. Your certificates deserve to be backed by real evidence of capability. Or maybe you are switching careers. Your past experiences does not really map to where you are trying to go. You are moving from maybe nursing to product management. Yeah, two extremes. A portfolio bridges that gap better than any explanation can. Or you are ready to move fast. You are done with slow progress and vague advice. You want a structured, proven system with clear finish line. And this is time for you to take action, ladies and gentlemen. You have sat through a lot of workshops like this. I'm sure most of the things I've said, you've probably heard them before somewhere. You have watched so many YouTube videos. You've read a lot of articles. Today is different though, because you have a system, a story, and a clear path forward. The job market doesn't hold you anything. And this is a truth that nobody tells you. It is also not rigged against you. It rewards evidence. It to do it. So what I'm saying is proof over certificate. I'm saying this, it's not just a slogan. This is your competitive strategy that changes careers, starting now and starting with you. So the 3 next steps I want you to take. You can watch this full training again, go on my YouTube video, or go on Career Bridge Foundation website. You probably find it somewhere on the link, or just follow me on YouTube. You can watch this if you missed some part of this. Join the waitlist. I'll give you a link to join the waitlist because this is going live in the next couple of weeks. We are opening to a limited cohort. So some people have signed up already, just waiting, and we are building our waitlist. This gives you access to the platform early. You have priority onboarding as well, and you get access to our founding member pricing. That's important. That's the icing on the cake. And then you attend every workshop, because I'm going to be doing this live series consistently, even after we've gone live, or after we go live, rather. So bring somebody along, a friend that is stuck in the same loop, okay? Somebody that needs this. The more people in the room who understand proof over certificates, the more careers we change together. That is the mission. That is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. So joining the waitlist, what are you getting access to again? Just to recap. Number 1, be the first in line when I open up the portfolio simulations. This platform is coming up soon. Ladies and gentlemen, waitlist members get priority spot before public launch. No waiting, no competing for seats. And you also get founding member pricing. So you lock in the lowest price we will ever offer, exclusive for those that show up before the launch. Okay? So this discount doesn't come back after launch day. So don't think, I know you. No, it doesn't work. Bonus resources. Every waitlist member gets our Job Ready Portfolio Template Pack, the exact notion, GitHub structures, and everything you need from day one. And again, like I said, if you've missed anything, I've shared a lot today, watch the training or the YouTube video again. And finally, one last thing before we finish today, ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code on your screen that will take you to a place where you basically just signify your interest and say, all you have to do is just type portfolio and send it by email. It goes into a particular inbox, and that's where we're capturing our waitlist. The best time to build your portfolio was 6 months ago. The second best time is today, before you leave. You know what most job seekers will never know. The real reason they are not getting hired, the exact system to fix it, I've already shared that with you today. And that knowledge is very valuable. Everything I've shared with you today, if you can do half of it, you will stand out very, very quickly. So again, my message is proof over certificates. Now go prove yourselves. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to quickly check in the questions. My time is up, really. I know I'm 5 minutes over because I started 8 minutes late. So let me quickly see if there are questions specifically in the chat that I would like to. I'll just pick one. Let's have a look. Let me look at the questions. I can see comments. Okay, I can see a comment here from Stepan. Let's have a look. If evidence that I have is under NDA or cannot be included in a portfolio such as dashboards, what should I do? I think I answered that question already for you, Stepan. If you've done work before that is under NDA, everything I've shared today, none is under NDA because the portfolio, the simulations or the scenario you are building are based on your work, on your research, not something the company has given to you to do, to then go and use that and show their work or their data on your public or your portfolio. No, that's not what I've explained to you today. If it's under NDA, then don't do that, okay? But you can actually mirror the same scenario, similar scenario, and then produce your evidence and tell your story that way without breaking your non-disclosure agreement that you signed. Okay, thank you so much. That's the only question I'll take today because our time is fast spent. Thank you for being with me. For those who have stayed from beginning to the end, I appreciate you and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you on the next live workshop. Before then, remember, proof over certificates. Go prove yourself. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend.